screen looking like only you can look.
No, thank you. I try to look nice for you.
You look like only you can look. That's all I can say.
You're the only one who I care about my appearance.
Oh, not even the missus?
Not even the business.
Oh, good Lord.
She gets jealous.
Well, you wouldn't even, that's why you wouldn't get in the car with me yesterday.
That's right. It's too tempting. Good.
Mr. Blackburn, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You have a nice board?
I did. I got that plate pulled out of my shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even do this before. Now I can. I'm going back to work here in a couple of weeks. I'm excited. It's been.
Did you get your shoulder replaced?
No, I was in a motorcycle accident. They detached shoulder and they ended up cutting the crown off and putting anchors. And anchors are broke. And long story, but I'd rather have had it replaced. I would have rather had it replaced. Trust me, it was.
Ready, Kim? Oh.
Oh, can somebody not paying attention 25 miles an hour?
How you doing? Good.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending the City of Uniontown's regular City Council meeting of July 7th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Roll call.
Mr. Billy?
Here.
Mr. Vasaki?
Here.
Mr. Winfrey?
Here.
Mr. Shuhon?
Here.
Mayor Gurke?
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two executive sessions were held since the last meeting, one on June 30th, 2022 at 6 p.m., and today at 4:30 for personnel matters. Do we have any comments on agenda items only? Okay, Mr. Vassar? Yes, please.
Good afternoon. My name's Terry Vassar. I live in Uniontown, PA at Cross Creek Drive in Uniontown. The agenda in which I'm commenting on is 183, the audit report that you're going to be receiving that is supposed to be voted on today to go public. And the reason that I'm actually wanting to discuss this is because I was implicated in this body of this audit, and it was very offensive to me. So I'm going to just read a portion of it, of what was said. So this is the audit for the city, and the auditor, which was a forensic audit, actually gave little more of his opinion concerning things than just keeping it straight numbers. The behavior, this is for limited cooperation, talking about Ms. Antoinette Hodges' treasurer's office. Wait a minute, my phone is, it's not working. Excuse me a second. It's not turning now. It's not doing it now. So the behavior posture of the tax office can be best be described with denial, obstruction, diversion, deflection, obfuscation. One visit would be cooperative, while the next, the tax office is not, the tax office is not talking to us and requiring to Tim Witt, which is the solicitor, or other representation. It further along says, during our visit to the office, our discussion relating the internal processes was limited to Hodge. Now, the other person, I'm not going to say her name, but she's one of the employees in the tax office. We never had discussion with one of the employees, and it was apparent that Hodge deliberately impeded our ability to discuss with one of the employees. Now, this is what I'm really wanted to talk about right here. The following are two examples of tactics. Now, that word bothered me, tactics, that we encountered during our discussion with the employee. Unannounced and not invited, Terry Vassar, a representative of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, entered the work area to observe. So I'm the president of NAACP of Fayette County. I've been working in the community for quite a long time. So the forensic expert actually was just basically saying that I walked in the room, and when I walked in the room, the person in which he was questioning, her body language changed. She started to change the way that she was moving and different things. And this was said because of my presence. Well, announced to him, he didn't know that 2 months prior to, the young lady asked the NAACP to represent her because she thought that she was basically being targeted civilly. So I was asked to come to the meeting. And then he observed and said the body language indicated that she was uncomfortable with the presence of Terry Vassar. Now, I don't know if it was my melanated skin or my long flowing hair or my muscular body, but it's offensive to me, very much so. I was asked, and I have an affidavit if anybody wants it, and I'm going to give one to each one of the council. It was very offensive to me to just suggest that I wasn't asked first and foremost, because I would never even come into the meeting if I wasn't asked. I'm also a reverend. I have 2 nonprofits in the city. It's just not my character, and I would never do that. So I just wanted to address it, because when it does go public, you're going to read about myself, and you could also know who this young lady is if you want one of these, but it's not my character. So it was very offensive, and I don't appreciate it, because it also implements the NAACP. It's the integrity of who I am as a man that I would never do that. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. Now, what I'm passing out is actually an affidavit.
Thank you.
From, Jesse has the other one, from everyone, from the lady in
Thank you.
which had said that she wanted me there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments on agenda items? Yes, sir.
I'm Jesse Blackburn, and I would like to say that, Mr. Witt, I know you're using a fake account on Facebook to try to encourage me to release a secret report, and I wasn't going to do that. You can deny it. You can deny it. I have a screenshot of your comment that you left under your personal account and then deleted. This is an offensive report. The way it described Mr. Vassar, who I've known to be a kind individual, you can smirk and deny it, Mr. Witt. I have it. But I just want you guys to know, I can show each and every single one of you his comment that he left and then immediately deleted as soon as I went to respond. And you see him denying it. That's the type of people we have on city council. Thank you for your time.
Any other comments on agenda items only?
Excuse me, I have a question. This is my first time attending a city council meeting, so I'm not really familiar with how the process goes. When you say agenda,
Ask her where she lives.
issues.
What is your,
My name is Lucretia Long. If anybody would like to know, I live in the city of Uniontown, here up here. And I just, 60 Millview Street, I came from some issues that I have regarding the city, and the way things are being handled. However, I'm not sure, do I need to step up there and speak? Do I speak on a different forum? Is it in relation to some of these things? I'm just asking how I'm.
only thing that we're asking, excuse me, only thing that we're asking for now is comments on the agenda items.
Okay.
Okay, if you have public comment, we have a time for public comment.
Okay, and that's all I'm asking. Thank you very much. This is my first time attending.
Very good.
Nobody
Thank you.
knows until you ask, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments on agenda items only? Mr. John? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mayor, Council, I'd appreciate your support in item number 193 to accept the bid of Delverm Distributing for recycling containers for the city of Uniontown. That will bring about 4,000 recycling containers to the city of Uniontown. That's greatly needed all through grant funding through the DEP. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on agenda items? Chief DeWitt?
Mayor, Council, we obviously have a couple of things on the agenda items. First and foremost, you'll see item number 191. Obviously, I don't have a vote in this, but just to inform you, we do not have the full working scope of what this agreement will be, so I'm not sure the exact terminology in this, but I believe it will be to table it. Something to take into consideration. We don't have the scope to understand what that value would be for us for that contract and the return back to the city that we need to work out. 189, you'll see it's an updated parking enforcement handheld device. That is required for us. If we're going to be enforcing parking, obviously you'll see in a different agenda item, we'll be hopefully hiring an individual to do parking enforcement on a part-time basis. The handheld device we have is due to expire in December of this year, which means it's on the 3G network. The Verizon service is taking 3G off, which means the device will no longer be serviceable. So we'll have to purchase a new one, which comes with a 3-year warranty. And then the standoff cartridges you'll see for the tasers. The intent for us is to take the money from the handgun purchases the officers purchased back, use that money to buy the new standoff cartridges we need so we can put our brand new tasers that you guys had voted on in, I believe, December. But they'll go into service in full use within the next few weeks. That's all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. Any other comments on agenda items only? John?
Hello, good evening. I just have a few things on the agenda here. First, item 192 is the purchase of a new fuel tank for the street department. Our safety inspector has recommended us get it inspected and see if it was up to code and everything. And the company that we have deliver our fuel, I spoke to him about it, and he said the tank is probably from the 1970s, so you're better off just getting a new tank and starting from there. The tank we have now is single wall. This new one will be double wall, where if any machinery bump into it, it'll contain all the fuel inside itself and prevent all the fuel from spilling. Item number 196 is just the purchase for some street paint, which is just the normal cost that we endure every year. Number 198 is for purchase of some weed killer. Last year we were just buying it as needed. This should be enough to last us for the entire year plus, which is why the amount is so large. Item number 199, that is to repair the bucket on our 1989 high lift that is at the compost site. It is shared half cost with South Union, but at this point we're kind of stuck just fixing what we have, because even if we did have the money, you can't just go to an equipment dealer and buy a new one right now. Anyways, the way the economy is.
That machine's in great condition anyway, other than the back.
Yeah, it runs well, and we don't usually have a lot of cost in repairs yearly with it, so it's definitely worth putting the money into at this point.
The cost on here then, 7,000 to 8,000.
Yeah, once they get the bucket off the machine, they'll get a better analysis on it, but that's just the range.
shared cost, right?
I mean, that
Yeah,
would be the
that's-
total cost.
That's the
right?
total
So,
cost, and we're responsible
so-
for 50% of it.
Okay.
Yep. Number 201, Steve and myself have been going back and forth on talking about how to do the purchase of the new truck we ordered, and it is budgeted to get loan for it. I believe it was a $20,000 down payment, and $1,600 a month for 9 months was budgeted this year. So there's more than enough to cover that in this budget for this year to get a loan for it. And that looks like the option we're going to try and go with here. Any questions?
Do we have any more hires or applications that we can put in?
Not that I know. Yeah, yep.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Any other comments on agenda items?
Mayor and Council, I would like to comment on item 205, the purchase of a color copier scanner for the use of my office. Since I've been hired, I've only had a black and white printer. When I need copies, I have to come downstairs. Very time consuming. Looking for something. If you have an idea, Mayor Gardner and I and Desiree have searched for something less to do more jobs, and there's just nothing out there right now. Things have been back ordered or not available, but I'm hoping that you approve the use or the purchase of a copier color printer scanner for my office, and no Wi-Fi, so that makes things difficult.
In-house this way too, a lot more.
Yes, 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 yes. So please consider that. Thank you.
Before we get started, I'd like to let the record show that on page 1, we have 195. On page 2, we have 195. So for the record, page 2 starts with 196, and then it'll consecutively go down and end with number 205. Thank you.
Any other comments on agenda items? We'll move on. Monthly report of the treasurer.
Do you all have the treasurer?
We have a copy at our desk, but no one to report that? Okay. That being said, I have a few things that I'd like to speak about briefly. They're all on a positive note. This past Sunday, Faith Assembly of God Church had a church service at Story Square, and it was well received. I want to thank the police department, the fire department, especially the fire department filling the baptismal. And they were willing to do it at 5:30 in the morning, but I think we got it filled at 7 o'clock, and the water was warm. My wife was worried that the water wouldn't be warm, but thanks a lot, Scott, to you and your team for all that you do, especially with that. But that really shined a bright light on our city, and it was well received. On Monday the 4th, I'm not going to take Ms. Kutek's time up on this, but I just want to say that it was a very positive event in the city. It brings the city together. I got so many compliments on how the city works together, and it was a great event. Ms. Kutek will probably elaborate on that in her report, but I just wanted to say thank you to her and to all the volunteers and everyone that participated. It was really a good day. But that's all I have, and that's all I have, Ms. Marshall.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to receive the report of the treasurer for the month of June 2022. Be and the same is hereby received and filed. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes, I acknowledge I received it. Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
I vote yes to acknowledge that I received the report.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown. Council hereby directs the Director of Accounts and Finance to make payment of the following invoices for services rendered or products procured for the City of Uniontown for June 2022 invoices. In the General Fund, $332,712.71. Sewer Fund, $19,309.61. Recreation, $2,487.78. Highway, $13,089.03. Recycling, $1,412.40. Off-street, $99.37. Library, $30,000. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
So before I vote on this, the general fund unpaid bills, $332, or I'm sorry, $332,000, just a little over. We should let the record show that there was a finding in an audit that we had here recently with the state. $202,000 is the unpaid. So it does look like the general fund that we have spent an absorbed amount this month. That is not actually correct because of that the payment that we had to do for the fireman's workers' comp. So I'd just like to thank everybody being diligent. Again, we need to clamp up a little bit more, and so any wasteful spending that we have going on, please try to have that scaled down. Thank you, and yes.
Mr. Basaki?
Yes.
At least I sound good. You know? Thank you.
Mayor
Sorry,
Gurke?
sorry.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to adopt proposed ordinance number 1740, bill number 1760, an ordinance of Uniontown City, Fayette County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, electing to amend its non-uniform pension plan administered by the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System pursuant to Article 4 of the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement Law, agreeing to be bound by all provisions of the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement Law as amended and is applicable to member municipalities. It is hereby ordained by Uniontown City, Fayette County as presented. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Basaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
City mission.
Okay, this last resolution was read out of order. This is the one that I should have read last. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to please authorize a refund to the following taxpayer for real estate city taxes. Taxpayer City Mission Livingstone pays $626.31. The property has been reassessed and revised per appeal board. See attached letter. The amount of the refund is $528.43. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Basaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
My packet is out of order. Let's see your resolution. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the minutes of the June 2nd, 2022 regular council meeting, being the same is hereby accepted and filed. Mr. Basaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to adopt proposed ordinance number 1741, bill number 1761, an ordinance of the City of Uniontown, Fayette County, Pennsylvania, designating and adding the Craig Mansion as a historic property and as part of the historical overlay district in the zoning ordinance, adopting current preservation, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and restoration standards, spending requirements relating to the Historic Architectural Review Board, and affording the Planning Commission with certain powers, repealing all inconsistent ordinances and providing an effective date. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Basaki?
I think this is going to be one more step towards our goal of not letting the Dollar General stop in on that piece of property, so yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to acknowledge and accept the auditor's report of Cipher and Cipher, to file the same with the records of the City of Uniontown, and to authorize city officials to take steps as may be necessary to ensure the protection of city funds as identified in such auditor's report. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
I'd like to ask some questions or for some clarification. Is it okay if I do that now or after we vote?
Probably before you vote.
Tim, can you give us just a general overview of what this report goes into and explains in details? Just, I mean, I know it's a lengthy 200-some page report, but just to give the citizens an idea of what we're dealing with and what exactly this report's showing.
So the audit report was requested by City Council in connection with some issues that were identified with concerns about deposits and some of the activities that have gone on with respect to tax collections and remitting those to the bank. The audit report was completed, and the conclusion in the audit report is there's $106,750 of tax and sewage deposit cash payments that were received in the treasurer's office that were not then subsequently deposited into the city's accounts. So the conclusion of the auditor's report is that there's $106,750 missing of city funds.
That would be tax money. Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? I was going to answer, hopefully, whoever.
She said thanks for the breakdown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's tax money, sewage money. It's conglomerate of all the different funds that the city takes in.
Yeah, the audit breaks it down into city taxes, sewage deposits, and then school district taxes that were collected by the city.
Okay, and the audit shows that there's excess of $106,000 missing.
$106,750 is the exact number, I believe.
Okay, and that's for what period, what date period?
That was an audit done for the 2021 calendar year and the 2020 calendar year and 2021 calendar year. So there were 2 years that were reviewed in connection with that audit. The audit for 2021 is more complete as opposed to the 2021 or 2020 calendar year review.
Okay, and then this forensic audit is definitely different than a regular audit. This is something that's a special audit approved by and paid for by council to it's more of a breakdown for what funds go where and what would be missing, kind of.
So forensic audits or agreed upon procedures by a forensic auditor, which is specifically what this report relates to, is digging down in particular to more transactions and how those transactions were recorded, booked, deposited, whatnot, looking at it much more specifically than just a general audit, which just oftentimes randomly selects certain things. So this is a much more comprehensive, much more detailed audit of particular transactions during a period of time.
Okay, and then the exhibits in the audit are pretty much just paper or numerical proof of their findings or what they're using as evidence.
Yeah, that's correct. So the audit itself is 256 pages long, I believe, and the first 50 are the conclusions. The remaining approximately 200 pages are the exhibits that go through and kind of tabulate and show what exactly their analysis to arrive at those conclusions was.
Okay, and so since this is actually taxpayer missing money, this is a right to know. I mean, all they have, anybody who wants this audit, copy this audit, all they have to do is do a right to know and fill out, and they would get everything they need. Is that correct?
Well, in Pennsylvania, audit results are subject to the right to know. So audit reports, while there are other audit documents that aren't subject to the right to know law, there are audit reports are subject and are publicly available information once a report has been received.
Okay, so then with that amount of money missing, I would encourage anybody in the city. How would you, that's actually, you know what, let me just ask you this question. How would folks go about getting a copy of this audit, considering there's over $106,000 of city money missing?
So generally, the city's open records officer has to receive requests, and those requests should be submitted to the open records officer. Once those requests go out, then the open records officer can respond in accordance with the right to know law to provide copies of that. There are several redactions that would have to be made in connection with that audit, just because there are certain items within the audit that require redaction under the right to know law. But the audit itself, like I said, is a public document under the right to know law. So.
Understanding the Uniontown draft material standard, I would like a copy of that audit. Can I take that with our right to know request?
Yes.
Because I am.
I'll share it with you on media as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everything was pretty much clear before, that way everyone knows what we're voting on, what the results were, the details of it, what is available to the public, what is not available, and to, what degree and how it can be found. So then I vote yes. Thank you.
Mr. Winfrey?
I pass.
For clarification, the pass will interpret as an abstention, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll mark that as an abstention in the records.
The reason? Councilman, could you clarify what the reason is for abstaining?
Council voted on Cypher to take over in 2020. I wasn't on council.
Neither was I. Yes.
So
Okay.
I wasn't on council.
To correct me if I'm wrong, when we abstain, it has to be due to a conflict?
So generally, the public officials have a duty to vote either affirmatively or negatively on any action that's put before them for a vote. The general rule is that an abstention should be on the basis of a conflict or for some other good cause. Generally, that would constitute a conflict. That's when it's mandatory. But the abstention should be done sparingly and only for very clear good cause, because there is an obligation to vote on anything that's put before under any public body.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the completion and submission of a bond claim and proof of loss with CNA Surety Western Surety Company, policy number 649-20793, relating to losses of funds in the Treasurer's Office, and to authorize and direct the mayor to execute all proof of loss statements and any other documents related to such bond claim and proof of loss. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Kim, so if I'm reading this correctly, this is a roundabout way of saying that this is an insurance claim for the money that's we're finding missing from the audit report. Is that correct? The missing funds?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
just
I'm
to
sorry,
clarify,
Terry.
yeah,
Yes,
this
please.
is submitting it to a bond, the bonding company, which then requests the bonding company to perform its investigation to conclude with respect to the information contained in the auditor's report. And then ultimately, if it confirms that in fact that those funds are missing, that they would recoup those funds for the city.
So then the bonding company acts as like, it's just to make it easier, like an insurance agency. So then if we have a claim of $100 and such thousand missing, we submit it to them. They are the bonding company. They assume the responsibility of that amount of money. And then if they find that to be true, then they reimburse the city that amount of money.
That's correct.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to issue a rule to show cause within 30 days to the city treasurer as to why she should not, 1, be censured, 2, have treasurer's office duties reassigned, 3, have a complaint in mandamus filed against her, and/or 4, have a certificate of liability filed against her pursuant to the authority of the third-class city code and the local tax collection law as a result of the findings of the report of Cipher and Cipher, her failure to perform certain duties, and her failure to abide by the requirements of City Council Resolution Number 80, 2022, relating to the handling, deposit, and recording of cash payments, and to schedule a related hearing for such purpose effective immediately. Mr. Vasaki?
Okay, again, sorry. So Resolution 80 was to make sure that the treasurer produced documentation of daily deposits.
Pay tax duplicates.
Tax duplicates, and that we get
And
the
also
deposit slips.
daily cash.
Okay, so, and that has not been happening, correct? So that's what this is, a chance to give the treasurer explanation, or reason, or a chance to explain why that hasn't happened and why it may not be possible. Okay, yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
No.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by,
Questions during this?
That's at the very end where the public comes. He's dressed.
I want to know this is something previously was going into something new.
At the end of the meeting.
You can ask anything you like, trust me.
be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to require the city treasurer to submit the verified statement of taxes collected on the DCED form provided by the city on a weekly basis, such that each form shall be submitted on the Tuesday following each week to the Director of Accounts and Finance, and to require copies of all documentation required under Resolution 80 of 2022 to be submitted with such required verified statements for each such corresponding week, such that each form shall be complete only if it is submitted with such copies of documentation required under Resolution 80 of 2022 as authorized and required pursuant to the local tax collection law 72 PS 5511.25, effective immediately and beginning with the week ending July 8th, 2022.
So before we go and vote on this, just to, clarify for the public, the steps that council's making and the steps that council has made in the past few months is all an attempt to control the situation and to prevent this from happening in the future. Without going into a lengthy detailed, reason of why, we don't want this to ever happen again, and we need to make the diligent steps to try to curb this in the future. Sorry.
I believe it was Mr. Winfrey.
Yes, I will vote for that one. Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to hire Stephen Petronas as part-time parking enforcement officer for up to 29 hours per week at $12 per hour. The effective date is July 11th, 2022, with a 6-month probationary period. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize payment of compensated absences to Matthew Thomas as follows: 10 vacation days and 10 sick days for a total of 240 hours at an hourly rate of $21.53 for a total payout of $5,167.20. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of updated parking enforcement handheld package from United Public Safety for $2,695 with a 3-year warranty of $1,260 for a total of $3,955 plus $199 licensing fee, which that is monthly. I didn't have monthly written there. Mr. Vasaki?
That's a monthly fee?
The $199 is.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of a 40 Taser 7 standoff live cartridges for $1,558 for use in the Uniontown City Police Department. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
This motion is...
I'd like to make a motion to table this next one for the Millennium, number 191.
A second.
This is to take a vote on tabling resolution number 191. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
I just wanted to note that, as the chief stated earlier, Chief DeWitt, that we need to gather more information before we actually pass this resolution, so that's why it's being tabled.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of a 300-gallon skid fuel tank for use in the street department garage as required by a recent safety inspection. Mr. Vasaki?
Yeah, Johnny came up and explained that really it's just outdated, antiquated, and it's really just unsafe at this point, being as old as it is. We safety person.
Is this something that you think we may be able to bid out or get estimates and see maybe if we can find something? I'm not saying that if we can. I would just like to, something we're spending, this amount on that, maybe we may be able to get something. Now Ryan is on Oliver, PA, so it's local.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, he did do a little bit of research, but if you prefer, we're able to do a little more. I just want to make sure we get it compliant ASAP because of the being dangerous, with being a safety issue with fuel. That's my only concern. So with my vote, I'm gonna say yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
The next resolution is for a bid for the recycling containers. We just received the one bid.
So we received one bid from Delverm Distribution. Pricing of $186,872. This includes 4,423 bins. And these will be 35-gallon carts. The cart price is $42.25 per container. We have a lead time 6 to 8 weeks. These do have a warranty, 10 years it's non-prorated. Delivery of 1,160 carts per load. We have a 9,128 price for subject to change. This is based on that. Okay, so at the end, price on the carts is good for 30 days. The carts are $186,872. Freight will be $9,128. Tax will be exempt for a grand total of $196,000. And this is for
Even?
Yeah, $196,000 even. And this is the only bid received. So we will be accepting the bid for this distribution for recycling containers in the amount of $196,000 even to be purchased through the recycling grant.
How much was the grant?
I believe the grant was for $200,000 total. The city does have a match of 5%, so there'll be a portion of this amount, 5% that the city will have to pay. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Just want to throw this out there real quick. We've got one bid. It'd be nice if we got multiples, especially if there's a local company that could do anything. So just anybody who, just keep an eye out. Any of the local companies could do anything to provide any services we're looking for the city. Please bid, because it would be nice to have at least more than one bid and not just that, it has to be local. So, yes.
And Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, whereas under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development is authorized to extend financial assistance to communities for activities which will benefit low and moderate income families, aid in the elimination or prevention of slums or blight or other urgent community development needs. And whereas the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, hereinafter the CARES Act of 2020, made available supplemental community development block grant, CDBG funding for grants to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus, hereinafter CDBG CV funds. Whereas the City of Uniontown received an allocation CDBG CV funds under Act 179 of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, and whereas the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown administers the CDBG program on behalf of the city in accordance with the cooperation agreement between the parties dated May 5th, 2010, and whereas the city desires to make efficient and effective use of the CDBG CV funds in a timely manner, and whereas the city and the RACU desire to extend the time of performance for C00007522. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown is hereby authorized to request from PADCD an extension to contract activity period for C00075232 through December 31st, 2022, that the mayor on behalf of Uniontown City Council is authorized to execute all documents related to submission of the extension request. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
I'd like to thank Mr. John, Director John, for reaching out. Last month, this is something that I had brought up. When we're looking to expand and to invest in our infrastructure, and this is what the CDBG CV is about. Masontown and a few other areas in the county are taking advantage of the current situation with this grant. And I think that Uniontown is in a prime position. And again, I would like to just thank you. This is something that we can build on the value of our lines. And I'm for sure definitely yes on this. Thank you.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize waiving the daily parking fee in the Penn Street parking garage, Joyce's Jewelry, on Saturday, August 6, 2022, for a summer event. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes, we will do this, especially since it's one of our own city businesses. Sure.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize waiving the daily parking fee in the Penn Street parking garage for a surprise Sweet 16 birthday party at the State Theater on Friday, August 12, 2022. Mr. Vasaki?
I hate to be the one to say no first, but if we're helping local businesses, that's one thing, but for private parties, I can't say yes, so unfortunately, no.
Mr. Winfrey?
Do we know them?
I don't. I didn't put the name down because it's a surprise party, but I don't know who it is. It's someone who called in.
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
I'm going to have to say no for a private party.
Mr. Billy?
No.
Mayor Gurke?
No.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of 12 containers of liquid thermoplastic yellow paint from Sealmaster at a cost of $1,556.40. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
So this is something that we looked into earlier in the year, and this purchase wasn't available at that time, so it has come available. Getting all the lines repainted every year is very important. So it's yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of 2 55-gallon drums of degreaser from Blast-Off Cleaning Equipment for $594.80 to be split between the Street Department and the Sanitary Sewer Department. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
When it comes to the degreaser and the concentrated weed killer or vegetation killer, we used to do it by the gallon. We're doing it by the 55-gallon drum now, which makes more sense. So we're actually going to be saving in the long run. So that's why we're doing it this way. So yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of 10 2.5-gallon concentrated Kills-All weed killer from Producer Supply Company for $2,531.20 for use in the City of Uniontown buildings and grounds. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize repairs to the Caterpillar High Lift Loader Bucket by Evans Brothers Services for a repair cost of up to $9,000, cost to be shared equally by the City of Uniontown and South Union Township for use at the compost site. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize selling for scrap metal fencing that will be removed from around Bailey Park, and to authorize the city clerk to advertise for the best price if total scrap value is estimated to be greater than $2,000. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
And that money will be relocated back into Bailey Park.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize seeking bank financing for the 2022 Dodge 5500 cab chassis and dump bed for $58,731 for submission for council approval. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes, we approved this at the last meeting, and this resolution is to look at different ways to finance it. Where they purchased it, that company does not finance, so that's the reason for this resolution. Yes.
Mr. Billy?
So I believe last month I voted against this, and I feel that I have to follow suit. But before I give my verdict on that, I do agree that we do look out for financing. Any time that we can stretch the city general fund and not come out of a full payment, I think is a good decision. But I'm going to have to follow through with my last month's vote, and so it's not, going back and forth, and I'm going to vote no.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to ratify hiring 3 part-time seasonal employees in the Recreation Department at an hourly rate of $8 per hour effective June 20th. Jay Sean Ray, Brittany Johnson, and Kirby Dreher.
Before we get started on this, is this for one park only? Will these employees be shared throughout the
As
park
of right
system?
now, they're going to be assisting at Grant Street.
Okay.
And then once we get, we're having a problem getting some picked people to work at the other. Once that happens, then they will be shared throughout the.
I was gonna say, do you think we could share them
Bailey
between the
Park
parks.
and- Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
And I do want to thank Demita Jones for getting a hold of these three people to assist her with that. And down the road, like I said, they will be assisting at, also at Bailey Park and hopefully Chestnut Ridge also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of a Canon Color Image Class XMF 1127C color copier scanner for use in the Planning and Community Relations Office from Ford Office Technologies for $852.23. Mr. Billy?
I think anything that we can do in-house, you know, we're doing a lot of events. And each time we do these events, all the flyers, all the color printouts, that all has to go outside of the building. So I think that, you know, over time, this purchase, and I agree with the director, this is something that you don't want to go on the cheap. This equipment it's used on a regular basis. So in an attempt, I do feel that this purchase will, over time, make up for itself and also save the city a little bit of money when it comes into those line items. I'm voting yes in support.
Mr. Vasaki?
This will be one less thing that you're going to have to worry about having a debacle with or anything else, so I absolutely yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes, this is one of the items Laura needs to effectively do her job.
Absolutely.
Mayor
Yes.
Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to, where the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is the agency charged with granting permits to allow the placement of signs or banners within state rights-of-way. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. Each applicant must set forth the size of sign or banner, the message of the proposed sign or banner, organization, and event for which the sign or banner is being erected, the dates and installation and removal, a sponsoring organization and event for which the sign or banner being erected. And this would be for St. George Maronite Church Festival on July 8th. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Where's the placement of the banner going to be? Where are we placing the banner at in the city?
It's normally stated that it's across Fayette Street. I don't see that on.
It just says 611 and Terrace.
That's where they have the
Yeah, that's where the event
festival is.
Yeah, that's where the festival is.
And who will we
That
have?
normally does.
Who are we going to have place the banner? What department?
Usually it's the fire department, am I not correct, Scott?
This is something they have every year. I'm just going to ask where they put it. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Absolutely, this is a great event they have every year.
Mr. Billy?
I think everybody that applies for this permit to have a banner should be just as easy to get this, no matter what organization it is. We've had issues in the past with getting banners put up for local organizations. Not that I'm not against this. I think that we need to get a little bit more descriptive of what location we're going to put this at and what department is actually going to do that, because I know we've had issues in the past with this. I will vote yes in support.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
That's all I have there.
Okay, monthly reports. Director of Planning and Community Relations.
Good evening, Mayor Kirk and Council. Thank you for letting me speak first. I'd like to attend our farmers market that's currently going on at Story Square. Some things happening, as I mentioned, farmers market, the Uniontown Hospital WVU Medicine 2022 concert series and farmers market was scheduled to start on June 16th and was canceled due to significant threat of severe thunderstorms that evening. Rain makeup date will follow later this summer. In June, we had the DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution Lafayette Historic Trail Marker Luncheon. Mayor Gerke and I were invited to attend. This event celebrated the mapping of Lafayette's farewell tour and the unveiling of the Lafayette Trail Marker. It was hosted by the Fort Necessity NSDAR. The luncheon was held at the Ivory Ballroom on West Peter Street, and the ceremony was held at the marker location in Everly Square. It had special guests, DAR State Regent Elizabeth Watkins and Julian Eicher, President, Founder of the Lafayette Trail, as well as Speaker Mayor Gerke, Dr. Ernest Sutton, General Author, St. Clair Chapter, and Christine Buckley from the Fayette County Historical Society. Thank you for your very informative speech. Always enjoy hearing you talk about the city. Founding Day Festival happened this past weekend. The City of Uniontown celebrated the Founding Day Festival on July 2nd. Founding Day was hosted by the Herald Standard. This event took place on Main Street in Uniontown and included activities such as police, fire, EMS show and tell, a classic car show, and art on wheels and easels, comprising of Uniontown Art Club artists and many handmade goods to shop from. The proceeds from this event will be donated towards the Marshall Park Rejuvenation Project. The Fayette County Chamber of Commerce hosted a traditional fireworks display on June 3rd. And last but not least, we followed up with the City of Uniontown on July 4th with our second annual Uniontown Birthday Firecracker 5K, returning for a second year. This year, we added a 400-meter fun run for the kids under 12. The Sparkler Sprint was my favorite. Participants were able to enjoy vendors such as Sullivan Brothers Coffee, the Corner Creamery, Have an Ice Day Shaved Ice, and the Prodigal Son Food Trailer, and Harvest is Life clothing. Our overall top finisher was Tanner Uphold from Markleysburg, finishing at 18 minutes 33 seconds. Cupcakes were provided by Burlesque Sweet Treats and by Gina Jenkins. We're currently waiting on final numbers. Bills haven't been paid. I don't want to give any numbers until everything's paid and everything's back, so we'll talk about that next month. I was happy to see the public, the volunteers, especially Faith Assembly, Pastor Jason stepped up. He reached out and found the volunteers that we needed, brought in MC Tim Bennett, Michonne Price, amazing, beautiful voice that sung the national anthem. Chief Kahn in Station 40 helped with setup. Chief DeWitt and the UPD for their help throughout the planning and execution of setup during the Uniontown Birthday Firecracker 5K. And of course, Buck and all of his help. Thank you. I don't want to forget Fayette. EMS was on site. Maria Bittner, our Fayette County Fair Queen, helped with her royal presence was there with the award ceremony. Coach Joe Everhart and the Uniontown Cross Country team for their guidance, help, and continued involvement with this year's race. Photographers Isaiah Melvin and Jordan Lamer, and the accountants volunteers. Update on the flag retirement box. As you know, the original box was damaged during delivery to the fire department. I was there, watched it, was not happy. It is ready to be shipped back. We've received the new box. It is sitting proudly at the fire department, and we're looking forward to having that permanently placed outside. I want to stress that it's an outdoor box, not an indoor box. There's one at the courthouse, but there's not an outdoor box in the city. Future plans, I would like to have another one across the city. Nemacolin Community Day. We're continuing our efforts with Nemacolin team to get the Nemacolin Community Day event at Bailey Park on August 18th planned and finalized. This event will take place between 2 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow there's a ribbon cutting in the city. We're all excited. A established business is coming to Uniontown, a Queen's Things Hair and Boutique. They are located at 35 West Main Street. We'll offer services for all types of textured hair, accessory, lashes, purses, and shoes. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Uniontown Fire Department.
All right, good evening, everyone. Pretty short report this month. like to report on the incidents that we had for the month of June. We had 9 fire-related incidents. These included 7 building fires, and very unfortunately, we did have a civilian fatality as a result of one of them. We also had 2 trash fires. 16 rescue-related incidents, with 12 being motor vehicle collisions, 2 removal of an ill or injured person from a building, and 2 being stalled elevator rescues. 4 hazardous condition incidents, which included 1 gas smell, 3 power lines down, or electrical issues. 14 service-related incidents. These included 3 lockouts or gain access incidents, 2 persons in distress incidents, 1 ring removal, 3 assisting the police or another governmental agency, and 5 general public service incidents. We had 3 smoke scares or odors of smoke with no active fire or ignition found. We had 15 fire alarm activations, 3 weather-related emergencies or issues, and we witnessed 5 fire drills in public facilities. This also includes our pre-incident planning and building familiarization that we always incorporate into our fire drills. Also like to report on the training every month. This month we conducted or had taken 59 man-hours of training for the month of June. Couple apparatus updates real quick. Fortunately, our damaged ladder truck is finally back. It's back, it's in service, it's working quite well. FASTA, the Allegheny Mountains in Somerset, did the repair work, and they did a tremendous job. Would also like to, again, give a special thanks to the South Union Fire Company for providing assistance with their ladder truck while ours was down. We had got a resolution passed a meeting or 2 ago about tires for a couple of the engines. We're still waiting on those right now, but they should be coming in pretty soon. And just to kind of give you guys a heads up, once those come in, we are going to have a couple of those pieces of apparatus due for their state vehicle inspection. So just to know that that's kind of coming down the pike. Just a couple of miscellaneous things. Again, our personnel have been very involved in community events, doing our preparedness or pre-planning or community fire prevention and public fire education and things of that nature. This is something that we stress, and we just want to get more and more active as things go. So our guys are really busy doing that. And then last thing, Mookie knows what night it is. Anybody else?
Bingo.
All right. There you go, 6:45. All right, thank you. Any questions, anything?
Yeah, Chief,
Yes.
what about the new fire truck?
It's 100% in service. Yeah, it's gotten broken in a couple times,
Good.
unfortunately, too. So it's been used.
It's up and running. Good.
It's up and
Very
running.
good.
So yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
Police Department, Chief DeWitt.
Mayor, Council, I'm going to touch on a couple things in the middle of some of the stops. Thank yous and recognizing some of the things that I saw when I got called out for that fire. I think your guys definitely deserve a notice of thanks for that. So during the month of June, the Uniontown Fire Department responded to 863 calls for service. A breakdown of some of those calls included 1 homicide, which occurred on North Gallatin Avenue. My department, pretty much a full station response, as well as the Pennsylvania State Police, have provided us with much assistance, and we continue to work through them on major incidents. I believe the resources that they bring to the table are well worth everything, and the integration we have working with them is second to none, I would say. We had 17 vehicle accidents, 10 assaults, 25 welfare checks, 37 domestic, 7 fire calls, 1 of which was involving the fatality. I got called into that, typically go in. I can't say enough when it comes down to our fire department how well we work with them. But watching, I mean, you're talking a middle Saturday, right, middle of the day, 90-degree day. I was getting ready to go out on a boat myself. The amount of volunteers that showed up, plus all your paid staff that got recalled back in. I know Buck was there, and Hillary was there. I mean, everyone that could have been associated with the fire department showed up on a Saturday, on a beautiful day. And watching devastation. I mean, you try to go in and do everything you can, and sometimes things don't work out. And I believe the Reverend was down at the station afterwards. So thank you for all that. And I do believe you guys should be recognized for that, as well as all the volunteer companies. When I pulled on scene, there were, I think, trucks from, I don't know, half the county.
I
So-
think we went to 6 alarms.
Yeah, you guys did everything you could, and sometimes it still just doesn't work out. But these guys fought hard, very hard, in horrible conditions. So, back to where I was at, I'm sorry. We had 18 disorderly conducts, 15 emergency medical assist, 11 assist other police, 13 shots fired, 35 alarms, 86 suspicious person or activities, 31 thefts and 4 burglaries. We made 39 criminal arrests, issued 6 known traffic citations, 34 traffic citations, and we conducted numerous foot and vehicle patrols among the city parks and the Sheepskin Trail. Typically, we would have a Uniontown code enforcement report, and Matt would probably give us some quippy comment. I'm not going to do that. But we, as a police department, obviously took code over. We are starting to work through the growing pains of that. Officer Frederick Campert has been assigned to that capacity Monday through Friday. So if you have any issues with code or need to reach out with someone, right now the biggest thing we're obviously dealing with are high grass. He's working through sweep. We have a lot of things as a department to learn. He spent the majority of his week up here with the licensing and with the clerk's office, which we can't speak highly enough of the assistance we've got. Police work is much different from code enforcement, but they go hand in hand. We have a lot of things to learn with code, and we'll progress through that. Patrolman Campert's doing the sweep citations. He's continuing to work with the tear downs that Matt and the city had started months ago. And as I said, there's going to be growing pains, so please bear with us. And I can tell you that the best description that I can give you for Fred is we're expecting a dam to stop the water. We threw Fred in the middle of the Mississippi River, and then we're hoping he stops the water. He's just trying to keep his head above water right now. But we're going to progress to the point where hopefully we can be a lot more proactive and not reactive. Lastly, our department's obviously asking for public assistance in the June 23rd homicide of Samantha Harden. That was the homicide on North Gallatin Avenue. If you have any information relevant to this incident, please call our station. If you're not comfortable calling our station, want to remain anonymous, you can also call Crime Stoppers, and if it leads to an arrest, they will provide an award. Please, the community's input on these incidents will help us solve them and get the dangerous individuals off our streets that are causing issues. Thank you. Mayor, Council, any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Director of Public Works, Mr. Podolinsky.
Hello, everyone again. This month, the sewage offices took in a total monthly collections of $189,075.50, bringing this year-to-date total to $1,205,867.81. I believe we're doing a little better than last year with COVID and us not being able to send shut-off notices and having some unpaid bills occurred during that time. So I think we're on track with the monthly incomes there and doing fairly well in that area. As far as the sewage and street department guys, we have completed most of our part of the trail that we're assigned to do. And as everyone kept saying, they would get to Clusses and turn around in the time period I've been there. Now they're coming to the fire hall and turning around. So they are getting closer as we go down. So it is a work in progress, and seems to be helping out a lot. As Steve asked earlier if we had any new applications, we are hiring and looking for help. Just last month, recently here, we lost one of our guys to an injury, and we are very short-staffed and are still trying to keep up with all the day-to-day duties, but we have a good group of guys in the sewage and street department, so they are able to tackle most of the jobs assigned.
You guys are so undermanned, and I appreciate everybody does that here, especially with finishing out that trail thing.
Yeah, thank you. Also, luckily we have a good relationship with the water company. We had a little mix-up with the way the PA one call system works. We kind of got through into it, and it was a learning experience for us. But we do have a good relationship with the water company and the contractor who got the job, so they are working diligently to work around our issues and help us with any other problems that we do have. And I'd just like to thank them for being there to help us. Other than that, that's all I really have. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thank you. Appreciate all the work that you do. Really
Thank
do.
you, John.
Community Development Coordinator, Mr. Mark John.
Can you hear me in the back? Yes, yes, sir. Mayor, council. There is a lot going on behind the scenes that people don't see. And some of the stuff that Johnny and his crew is doing, it helps. And I want to thank you for getting thrown into that mix. And it's one thing after another that we keep asking you to do, and you keep coming through. So thank you very much. Another one of those behind the scenes thing has recently come out to light. Those of you who were in attendance for this second group of Carnegie Mellon students who are in town studying what is called, they're not studying, they're developing a web-based tool called Asset Mapper, in which it provides community input on assets that we have in town, as well as assets that the community would like to see in town. So as this continues to roll out, and we continue to roll out this comprehensive plan, please get involved. Every part of the community, get involved so that we can all have a hand in the next 15 to 20 years, and hopefully the next 50 years, if we do things the right way. In that, the comprehensive plan, we will have an initial meeting with the team from Gibson Thomas on August 4th. I believe all of you are aware of that and were asked to attend. So thank you all for that. And again, that is the beginning of where we all see the next 10 to 15 years. So the opportunity to be heard and the opportunity to have a shape in where we go as a community and as a city, as the city of Uniontown, the county seat of Fayette County, it's a tremendous responsibility. And again, we're asking for everybody's input. The Sheepskin Trail Project, Phase 1, again, Johnny, thank you, you and your crew, and you know, our thoughts are going out to Tommy as he's recovering. It's nearly completed. And as Johnny said, they're not stopping at Clusses anymore and turning around. They're stopping at the Volunteer Fire Hall and turning around. And once we get to Fayette Street, maybe they go further into the city of Uniontown before they turn around and start doing a couple laps and visiting that Cornerstone Creamery and some of the new businesses that are popping up. I know we have lost some businesses in the last few months, but if you drive through the streets of Uniontown, you'll see close to 10 new businesses popping up in some of these storefronts. And that Sheepskin Trail can only have a exponential impact on what that is. And again, I'll plug the Filling the Gap Trail report done by the previous group of Carnegie Mellon students. Can be found on the Friends of the Sheepskin Trail webpage. And it outlines all of that and how we can become that community that we all see ourselves becoming. Our office recently wrote a grant for a splash park through Pennsylvania American Water, the site of which yet to be determined, but we're thinking about that corner of Berkeley Street and Pennsylvania Avenue, where that Bailey Park sign sits, so that it's accessible to everybody in the city. And I'm going to touch a little bit more about that accessibility to our kids throughout not one pocket of the city, but each corner of the city. A little bit later in my report, I'll try not to be too long-winded, but I can't make any promises. The new local share account grant application is out, so community input is always welcomed. Last year we were awarded around $25,000, which we are using for Bailey Park improvements and improvements to that baseball field and softball field at Bailey Park, so that our Uniontown baseball and softball teams can have a place to call home that isn't just dirt and grass. It's somewhere they can be proud of, and it's something that we as a city can be proud of, showing off to some of these other school districts who do come into our city and watch their teams play at Bailey. With one of the gentlemen who was in the audience tonight, we've been talking about a skate park. And I know that there's some liability issues that have been holding something like that up, but we're finding that skate parks, number one, bring in people from out of town to participate in events. It's not just something that 2 or 3 kids might use a day. Skate parks and pump tracks also are things that people want to see in our community and have been asking about for some time. I personally think Coal Lick Run would be a great place for that. One, we don't do much with that property right now, and two, those woods would kind of drown out some of that noise of something like that. But again, as we move forward with a comprehensive plan, the Parks and Recreation system, Mr. Shuhan is going to be a big part of it. And it's not just Bailey Park or Grant Street Park. We're trying to develop Coal Lick Park. I've talked with some of council members. If you don't mind me plugging that, Councilman Billy and Mayor, I've talked to both of you about, and Councilman Shuhan, about writing a grant for Lincoln View Park. It's been asked by several people over there that, there's no park on that side of town. And even though the Ed Fike Lemon Street Park is there and has some pending grant money going toward that, we can also have the opportunity to take Lincoln View Park, which is owned by the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown, and bring that back to life so that we can take our system of parks and recreation and turn it into what it once was, with kids playing baseball at Bailey and basketball at Grant and maybe skate parks and pump tracks down at Coal Lick. We've got a lot of usable space that we're not taking advantage of. And over the next couple of years, or the next couple of months, it's our hope to take a look at this system of parks and recreation that we have now and incorporate our teachers and our music teachers and our science teachers and our mathematics and engineers teachers and get these kids something to do and occupied when they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so that when they're 14, 15, 16, 17, they still come to the park and contribute in different ways. And we change the way we do things. Instead of having nothing for kids to do, we present opportunities, room to grow. And then they want to come back and reinvest in our community. I'm sorry I get in my soapbox a little bit, but we do hear a lot of talk about money's only going to one park. Well, right now it's one functional park and it's semi-functional where the majority of the money is going. But we have to give the kids from the other sides of town an opportunity to have that same experience, so that we can all come together on certain movie nights at one park, or an event at another park, or a pirate game at the end of the season that so many of us have gone on those trips. It's a matter of finding funding to do it, and we're all in talks of how we can get creative to do that. It's not in the general budget. So I ran into a gentleman today, Mayor, as he was looking for you, that had some ideas. And he seemed very interested in becoming involved, and he is a member of the community already. So it's going to take people like that, and people like all of us, to take a look at where we want to be in a year from today, or even sooner.
We're trying to get these parks and playgrounds like they were back in the 60s and 70s. I'm sure you were all there if you lived in the city. Thousands of kids at each park or playground. That's what we're trying to do here since, it went away or went astray, in the 80s and 90s. So that's what Mr. John and myself are trying to do. And I appreciate all these grants and everything you're trying to do and assist me with the Parks and Recreation. And same thing with the other council members and the mayor. And
I've never seen so much positive progress.
yes, so
towards
we that's what we're striving to do, is get these playgrounds and these parks like they were back in the 60s and 70s. So,
In that,
sorry to interrupt.
no, Councilman, please. In that, we have to take a look at what kids want today. And they do want technology. So how do we incorporate technology into our system of parks and recreation so that we can attract these kids to get out of the house and get over to the parks, the park that's closest to them, or the park that's in walking distance to them? We look at the Jewish Center that's sitting there vacant for how long, when we could have a park for the West End kids on that side. We have a lot of opportunity. And again, with this comprehensive plan, hopefully there's enough people watching that we'll start taking a stake in everything we're doing. I want to thank a local dance company for, I don't want to mention the name, but donating a set of monkey bars to Bailey Park. I want to thank MTH Builders for something they've been recently working on at Bailey Park that I don't want to give too much detail, but much thanks to them for what they've done and what they've done for the media that will be at the Uniontown baseball and softball games. I attended a conference last month at the University of Notre Dame called Play Like a Champion Today, and as we're on Parks and Recreation, no charge to the city, Councilman Billy. Just making sure everybody's awake. This Play Like a Champion Today conference talked about how you could take a system of parks and recreation and develop kinship among the people that are involved and the kids that go there and the school districts and teachers that we can bring into this situation. And that's something that, as we move forward, Councilman Shuhan talking about parks and recreation and how we're going to get back to where we once were, this Play Like a Champions Today has a lot to offer in how we can structure that through, again, kinship is the key word in that. Last thing with Bailey Park, I know there's been some talk, why are you putting money into Bailey Park? Again, with the school district using it for baseball and softball, it's something that people from outside our community see. So we really need to make Bailey Park a gem for that reason, as well as any tourist or anybody walking off of the Sheepskin Trail or riding a bike off of the Sheepskin Trail from South Union Township into the city of Uniontown, Bailey Park is the first thing they're going to see. So whether they're from here or they're not from here, we have to project that image so that people start walking with our heads up and looking around and stop walking with our heads down and looking at the ground. And once we start walking with our heads held a little bit higher and we start appreciating the natural beauty and the little streetscape of the buildings of Uniontown you see when you come into the park and the mountains you see when you go out of the park, I mentioned that also. We'll start appreciating it a lot more. Lastly, parking garage equipment has begun to arrive. We will be implementing that as it arrives. And I did miss one thing on the Sheepskin Trail. I apologize. Phase 1 is nearly complete. We were awarded a grant through the SPC for Phase 2, which goes from Fayette Street to the North Union border. Those funds should be made available sometime in October, but those funds will cover the remaining section of the trail. So whether the rest of that trail happens at the end of this calendar year or not, it surely will be the first thing on the to-do list on the first part of the calendar year in January. I'm reluctant to ask, but council, Ms. Marshall, Mayor, any questions?
No question, but I want to remind, well, I don't have to remind you because you covered the conversation that you and I had about 10 years ago, and when it's incorporating the school districts with our parks. And these are the people that spend a lot of time with our children of the community, so many months out of the year. And we can continue this throughout the summer with the same individuals that spend time educating our kids. You do pay attention to the things I do say.
I just pretend not to.
Again, I want to touch base on the CDBG CV. Very important. Thank you for following up on that. The article I gave you was an out-of-date article, but again, thank you for taking that a little extra step and checking to see if we can get that extension. I think that's going to be extremely important for the future infrastructure of our city and making our infrastructure more valuable.
And in an attempt to not seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, that extension that was voted on tonight, just for clarification, that is for this current year's application. So the August 30th deadline now goes to December 31st. Okay, thank you for that. No match to the PA American Water Grant, just so you guys know. That's totally, or that would have needed council approval. Anything else? Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you, Mr. John, as always.
Thank you, Mark.
It's time for public comment now, and I have to apologize to this young lady over here. I think we kind of rushed through your questions. All of the rules that we've set forth here for the city council are on the doors. The one thing that we will stress is a 3-minute time limit to be respectful of everyone else's time. So if you don't understand, maybe you can read those or ask questions, but I do apologize for you for rushing through your question earlier. Okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate your apology.
And so at this time, it's time for public comment, and could you state your name and your address? Yes, ma'am.
Would you like me to get up here?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucretia Long. I live at 60 Millview Street. The reason for me attending this meeting today, in fact, I do apologize for not having the time to read the rules and regulations. I actually rushed here from work, so that I did have a chance to come here. I just live on 60 Millview Street, and my biggest issue is just the violence. A lot often, you don't see people that look like myself to stand up for the violence and what's going on in our area. However, it shouldn't be something that's common for children to just hear gunshots every night. You know, every night that we're sitting on our back porch, or my daughter might be on a trampoline or in the pool, gunshots. You know, more gunshots. Gunshots. I have a specific situation that just happened 2 weeks ago, sitting on a back porch just relaxing, talking to family. A family member's walking through the alley. Again, I live on Millview, an alley between Millview and Lenox Street. They were approached by a young man and then approached with a pistol. Pistol cocked back, and thank God this gentleman was not good at what he did, because when he did so, all the bullets fell out. However, that's uncalled for. And then when we called the city police, it took about 20 minutes to return to the call. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if there was some urgent needs going on somewhere else. However, again, I live at 60 Millview Street. It's about 2-minute drive from the police station and about probably a minute with emergency lights on. Whenever the situation was addressed, the urgency for the need just seemed very minute, and it just did not seem like it was important. Again, I don't know if it's because of the way I look. I'm an alpha female. I have no problems in protecting myself. However, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I do not want to be one out here defending myself against a juror of 12, or hoping that I get a juror of my peers, because these young men, that they're out here conducting themselves in unruly behavior. So when we called the law, we had 2 cars pull up. They decided that they wanted to communicate, how do we do this? What do we do? There was no urgency. We, in fact, myself and my sister, who is my neighbor who attended here, we in fact asked them, would you like for us to show you exactly what house this guy came from and where he is at? They failed to do so. They said, we'll go over there and talk to them. Talk to them. We said that they pulled out a gun. They cocked this gun back. They threatened someone's life. You were going to go talk to someone? They went over there. We saw flashlights flashing. Never once did we hear anybody knock on a door. Never once did we hear anything. Now, I must say that the chief was very respectful, because we did follow up with the call the next day. Very nice, DeWitt, a very nice guy, very respectful. Did tell us he was working with the state police. However, this young boy still walking the city. Every single night, him, including other people, are involved in gun shootings, and it needs to stop. And I feel like, as far as being a law-abiding citizen, we should have more protection. I'm not saying you guys are failing, but that's what it's looking like. We have murders on top of murders unsolved. We're looking for the community to solve these, and they're not being paid to do that. We are talking about a community where people stand stern on not looking for or helping the law, so we can't expect that they're going to reach out.
Ms. Long, 3 minutes.
Has it been 3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure you was timing. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Everybody have a nice day. If we can have some urgency in the police need, the community need, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Malika Long, and I live at 54 Millview Street. Lucretia is my sister, which is my neighbor, and we were on my porch when that incident happened, as well as the day that when the young lady got killed down there on Gallatin Avenue. I spoke to Chief DeWitt earlier that day, because I'm just fed up with every night there's shots fired. I know prior to COVID, there used to be a city police car sitting in between the Gallatin Avenue schools as well as by Avenue Pizza. There was always a police presence sitting there, not just riding through and leaving. They were sitting there every night. And that day when that young lady got killed, I spoke to Chief DeWitt earlier, and like she said, he lets me know, they're working with the state police. But something more needs to be done. Like, every night there's shots fired. And he said there was 13 shots reported, because at this point, we're reporting these shots for nothing, because nothing's being done. And I'm try to be a law-abiding citizen, call the police, you know what, I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not about to go back and forth and be at war with somebody's young kid that's out here shooting guns. I'm a working woman, I have kids, I got things to lose in life. But when I call the police and they looking at each other and figuring out, okay, so what are we supposed to do? We're going to go talk to them? No, I want him arrested. Me and my family sitting on my back porch enjoying, it was actually around Memorial Day, and this happens. That's a problem. And there needs to be more of a presence sitting down there when there's constantly shots fired every single night. There's someone between Millview and Lenox Street shooting shots. as well as the properties at the bottom of Millview. Those houses at the bottom of Millview are just like, they should have been condemned a long time ago. Like, it is just ridiculous, and a lot of the violence comes from these houses down on these streets. Like, there's no reason that people should be living in these houses at the bottom of Millview. There's no reason why code enforcement has not shut these houses down at the bottom of Millview. Like, it is just beyond ridiculous. And I also would like to say I'm glad that I attended this meeting tonight, because I've learned a lot about what's going on in the community, especially from Mr. John about the parks and recreation. Like, I like the ideas that he has about just trying to get these kids actually off the streets before it gets bad. I'm really glad that I attend this meeting. I'm going to encourage a lot of other people to actually attend these meetings. Yeah, I'm definitely, while sitting here and I'm telling my sister, I'm going to try to encourage other people to come to these meetings so you know what's going on.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is Charles Cuppet, and I live at 12 North Emerson Street, and I've attended quite a few council sessions here. But tonight, I'd like to thank Mayor Gerke and City Council members, because I see what I've been asking for is starting to move in a very positive direction for the residents who live in the area, and the citizens who are conscious of the massive amount of history in the city of Uniontown. Establishing the proper zoning for the Craig Estate is essential. Designating that area as historic, it's not only because of the Craig house and the family and the important people who owned it at time, but right there in front of Ben Franklin School is a huge rock with a plaque on it, telling about, prior to any of our ancestors getting here, the Catawba Trail runs from Canada all the way down to Florida, and this is where the indigenous people, the American Indian, that's how they travel. And there's an intersection right there. And I don't have time to give you all the history of these trails, but we got to keep something, even if it's just a marker and a home that could be easily restored with money. But something has to remain from the past as we move forward, because people will come to the area who are history eggheads like myself, and I vowed I'd never leave this area. I've seen a lot in the world. I love this place. But we got to do something with the history, and I thank the council and the mayor for we're going in a positive direction. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Miller.
Hi, I'm Debbie Miller, and I live at 2 North Emerson Street. And I'm here too because of the Craig Mansion. But I want to segue a little bit, because one thing I have forgot to mention through all of this, Mookie reminded me, there's a playground behind the Ben Franklin School. And let me tell you, Mr. Cuppet can verify this, it is a sheer joy to live on that street, because every evening there is a community, the community comes from the Craig Street, that area, and they're playing games, and all you hear is laughter and joy, and it is beautiful.
It's families together.
Yeah.
And they are so respectful of the area.
And they need to be protected. We don't need a Dollar General there threatening those kids or those people who are just there having a good time, spending time with their families. And so that I've always forgot, I mean to say that every month and keep forgetting. So I remember tonight. And that's it.
You bring your own volleyball.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Any other public?
Excuse me?
on South Mount Vernon Avenue gets robbed constantly. We don't need that up by the, right that close to those kids in the evening.
We don't need that anymore. We're concerned about that side, but we're not concerned about.
I am concerned about that. I am 100%, I agree 100% with them, and I hope everybody will start working together to get this town the way it used to be in.
You're never gonna get it the way it
Well,
used to.
no, and some of that we don't want to go back to, but I'm not doing that, I'm just doing this because it's beside the school. Kids from this side of town go there, but they're black and white kids, it's everybody's children. And everybody's children is everybody, it should be, I look at everybody's kids, I worry about everybody's children, not just mine. Mine are grown. But it isn't, I'm not doing this just for me. I don't want that beside that school. I don't want the chance of an accident on that busy street. There's a lot of reasons I don't want that.
Traffic alone for car pickups already horrible on Morgantown Street.
Yes.
It's terrible. I think when you get up from school there, it's terrible.
Any other public comment this evening? If not, that's all I have, Ms. Marshall.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that council adjourn to meet Thursday, August 4th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes. Thank you all for attending.
That's a wrap.
I'm sorry, I didn't. No, that's okay. And I apologize for not telling you. Go back there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. I told my wife, I told her. She said, no, keep it. Come back next month, okay?
And then, it's like, you know,